Roman Reigns has returned. We're here to talk about what's next for that, as well as the John Cena, Cody Rhodes double turn and a lot more. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, as we were sitting here kind of thinking about ideas, we pretty much came to the conclusion that a lot happened while somebody was away. And while some of you guys probably know my thoughts on some of this stuff, let's get Will's thoughts. So really, let's get back in the swing of things. Let's get both of our thoughts. Let's discuss some stuff. So that's what we're here to do today.
Props to Brandon for carrying the load while I was gone. It was good to be gone, but it's even better to be back. I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, before we get too deep into it,
the
Raw and SmackDowns were not good.
I know.
But they delivered on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Just the Raw and SmackDowns, not good.
Let's get to the bulk of it, though. The big thing that's been happening over the past couple weeks, or since Friday, I guess, so not even the last couple weeks, Roman Reigns, he has returned. It was announced this morning as of recording. We're recording on Wednesday, that the tag team match is now official. It will be Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam. What are our thoughts on that?
Well, Roman Reigns, technically returned last week?
Yeah.
I guess on Monday, right?
Was it Monday?
Yeah. I believe it was on Netflix. Yeah, I don't even think you know. Yeah, it wasn't on SmackDown.
I don't know.
Because you know why it wasn't on SmackDown? Because Cody John Cena ended SmackDown last week. So I know,
you're right.
It was not last week.
There's still the WWE Network in Germany, all right? I was screwed.
It's all together.
Yeah.
As for Roman Reigns returning, I'm excited. I'm happy. It's welcome back, Roman. But in terms of storyline stuff, I know it's a pivot, right? I know you have him probably was going to go after Seth originally, and now it's okay, well, him and Jey can kind of team up, and you're throwing them together into the SummerSlam stuff. I still would have liked more in-depth stuff on the Roman and Jey stuff, but I know we're not going to get that. So I've kind of come to terms with hey, you're not going to get these cousins on a mic. You're not going to get the deep Jey Uso promos. You're not going to get the deep Roman Reigns promos. But for what it's worth, it's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool to see them in a match together. Interested to see how the dynamic of the match lays out. I do think that they lose at SummerSlam, so before we get super deep into it all, but it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic, does one of them, does he try to take the charge? Does he try to fall in behind Jey? Does he tell Jey that they're equals? How does that all play out?
Yeah, for me, I'm excited about the tag team match. I do think it's what you got to do given the Seth Rollins injury and the pivot that you got to do there. And I'm excited not just because Roman Reigns is back and he's working a big show. Obviously, that's great. But I like the idea of putting Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker against two of the top stars in all of wrestling and seeing what they can do at SummerSlam. That's a big stage to face such big names at. So you really have the opportunity here to solidify Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker away from Seth Rollins and really decide to pivot in that way of yes, they're missing their leader, but even without their leader, they can really be a strong and dominating duo here. And they are still good enough by themselves to kind of keep that doom looming over Raw and over the WWE. So I'm excited for it. I think they have something big that they can do there.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for that. I know Bronson Reed's kind of got the short end of the stick a little bit. Braun Breaker seems to obviously get almost everything, and he gets the moves in, he gets the promos, and Bronson Reed just kind of hangs out.
Hey, he held the briefcase this week.
So did Paul Heyman.
And they had the visual of just Bronson Reed with the briefcase, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's the new Money in the Bank, Bronson Reed." So
yeah, for somebody that was really hopeful for Bronson Reed and excited he's in something big, I'm like, well, dang, they ain't giving Bronson anything really. I know Tsunami's here or there, but every time he goes to climb that top rope, somebody comes out lately.
Yeah. With the Roman Reigns return, obviously we look further than just SummerSlam. Maybe we shouldn't because, obviously he's, at the very least, he's booked to do, Mortal Kombat with Cody Rhodes down the line, the movie?
Something like that, yeah.
I think they film in September. I don't know. I don't keep track of that crap.
September.
But we're going to play with the idea of Roman Reigns staying sort of more part-timey in terms of showing up more than just once every few months, right? So with Roman Reigns returning, what are kind of our expectations? What's next, looking even past SummerSlam for Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I think that's the key. You got to look past SummerSlam and, the SummerSlam, like I said, I think they lose because he is going to be part-time. You probably get him maybe a month before Survivor Series. You have him being on a team, choosing a side, right? And him kind of really just being thrown into another War Games type scenario. In terms of Roman Reigns, you look at it, I am interested. I guess they could maybe pivot. He did call out Paul Heyman for siding with Punk in that promo, right? So he said, you went with the best friend that you hadn't talked to in 10 years. Thought that's an interesting twist, an interesting pivot that I didn't think was going to happen. But down the road, I don't know if you can really do anything until Seth comes back. I think you kind of just have Roman in this like War Games feud basically, and that's all you kind of get.
Yeah, I am kind of hesitant to think about like him doing anything outside of this storyline, even though Seth Rollins is gone, which feels like you're kind of just stuck with Roman Reigns at the moment, because you look to SummerSlam, you do the stuff with Jey Uso, and you also kind of look at what his return has been so far. He is babyface of babyfaces now. Like it doesn't feel like we're getting like the Roman Reigns that was very hesitant to do the yeet stuff with Jey at the beginning. Like they are 100% back together and all good. So like looking past SummerSlam, I'm with you. I kind of only see like maybe he takes off again, and then around Survivor Series, Jey and the Buds, they need somebody again. Then he kind of comes back, and you kind of just delay until eventually Seth Rollins does come back, and then you can kind of kickstart it again. So really what's next for Roman Reigns for me is just more of the same for Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, and I think this week on Raw kind of hinted that maybe they decide to, if they do decide to keep Roman around, or he is able to stay around, maybe you have him versus Paul Heyman be like the feud, which is an interesting way to kind of tackle it, because Paul's not an in-ring competitor, right? And Paul can kind of just send Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed out there. I don't know how that would do for me, but it was interesting in that promo. Roman Reigns kind of had his John Cena moment about like, hey kid, it's a promo. You got to learn to do it, to Braun Breaker, which I thought was nice. So maybe they pivot and maybe you get Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns.
That would be amazing. Maybe
you just do a solo.
He was also desperately trying to get dumbass over for Paul Heyman. He even tweeted today at him. He was like, you're a dumbass. It's like, I don't know if dumbass is really creative enough to get over, but we'll see. We'll see.
Cool in like the 90s.
Last thing about Roman Reigns, we've touched on it with all this that we're saying right now. Roman Reigns is back, and he is very much a babyface, as we just touched on. It's very much, he's yeeting with Jey Uso. I mean, he's tweeting at Jey Uso. He built the tag team match through Twitter. Are we liking the idea of Roman going full babyface, not being a tweener anymore, just full on yeeting Roman Reigns?
I guess for me, yeah. It's one of those things that like, he is so big, he is so popular, and like when that music hits, like it does not matter the past for Roman Reigns to me. It's like, Roman Reigns is back, and then he does really cool stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cheer Roman Reigns. So I'm kind of surprised, I guess, that there's so many people that are loving Roman. Like you had at least a segment right at times where it wasn't everybody cheering Roman. You had some people that were like, oh man, no, screw Roman. I want Punk, or I want Seth. But in this feud, since you don't really have that, right? You don't have people clamoring for Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. Like him and Jey just have to be the extreme over baby faces. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That's what we get. And I'm kind of here for it, I guess. He deserves it, I feel like.
I like it, but I am a little bit hesitant, because what made Roman Reigns so cool as a tribal chief was the cockiness, was the assertiveness, was the I'm better than everybody at the end of the day. Like that's what gave us the tribal chief. And even when he came back after WrestleMania 40 and was a baby face when he came back, he still was hesitant to be around Jimmy and Jey, and was still like wanting to insert himself at the top of the leaderboard at all times and make sure that everybody knew that they were underneath him. And I liked that, because it felt like, yes, you are a good guy, but you also know that you're a badass. You're still the tribal chief. And so I'm a little bit hesitant with him just going like full, like, yeah, I'm yeeting now with Jey Uso and stuff, but we're very early on, so I don't really care at the moment. But I like it, but I'm looking at it a little bit hesitantly.
Yeah, and you could say that like it is early on, but you could also say that like maybe this is the character we get now that he's not with Paul Heyman, right? Because there is no wise man for the tribal chief sort of thing. So maybe he's not that tribal chief. Like maybe there does have to come some sort of character switch a little bit.
He's got the big dog logo again. It's in that O in the OTC, bro.
That's real bad.
We'll touch on it a little bit because I wasn't here for it. Seth Rollins' injury, obviously a huge deal. It's been a couple of weeks. We've seen the pivot so far. They're doing the tag stuff with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. They look really good. Paul Heyman still going one-on-one on the mic with Roman Reigns. So stuff looks good. But how would you pivot with the Seth Rollins injury in terms of like the Money in the Bank briefcase, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think the rumor is like 4 to 6 months-ish being out. So I would just honestly leave it where it is. Just have Paul Heyman carry it around, or Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. Have somebody just carry it around and it still be Seth Rollins, because eventually there will come a time where he is healthy. Maybe that's a Rumble thing potentially, right? If the timeline kind of plays out, Survivor Series Rumble, something like that. And then you just have Rollins do the cash in then whenever he is healthy. So pretty much just hold on to it and wait and wait and wait. And that's what you get.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think that they should just keep it on Seth Rollins, and it looks to be that way. It looks like Paul Heyman, Braun, and Bronson are just going to carry the briefcase around for however long Seth Rollins is out for. A little bit of me, right when it happened, was like, screw it, just give it to Braun Breaker and just overly pivot to Braun Breaker and just be like, okay, this guy's obviously your future big time star. Just do it now. Like, not saying give him the belt, but saying make him dominate everybody right away with the briefcase. And then eventually we could do that down the line and maybe quicker than we would have done even Seth Rollins. But I'm with you because I like what we've seen so far with the tag stuff. And I like the idea of Seth Rollins eventually coming back, reinserting himself right into the Money in the Bank situation. So I like what they're doing so far.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, if they decided they didn't want to do that and you needed an extreme pivot, you could always do a tournament. Why not?
Was Braun Breaker winning?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Realistically, that's probably...
It's not Jey Uso and not Sami Zayn, and I'm happy. That's about it. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, street fight at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Only one appearance, one interaction with them so far in the SummerSlam buildup, and I think we only have one more, and it's the Friday right before SummerSlam. So we're kind of getting what we're kind of getting, or we've kind of got what we're getting out of this feud, right? Cody Rhodes puts Cena through the table with a wonderful frog splash. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the quote unquote heel side of Cody is showing. He beats him over the head with the belt and all that stuff. He doesn't flinch, as you put it in the review. Go watch that stuff. It was really good. Brandon did a good job. Anyway, SummerSlam, street fight, John Cena, Cody. Is the double turn coming at SummerSlam? What do we think about that?
Yeah, originally I had said yeah, and I was on board like, yeah, sign me up. I'm a little bit hesitant in terms of like they're actually like it's so like crazy to me if they executed it that I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. This happened. But it is also crazy to me if it does happen, right? Like I think maybe you have Cody being a babyface still, but he just kind of doesn't take any crap from anybody. But then you're still able to kind of turn Cena babyface, right? And that's kind of the line that they go. I just don't see them really turning Cody full on heel. That just seems crazy to me because like the reception he got when he did destroy Cena and then he does attack Cena, he puts him through and he makes John sign the contract. You're like, yeah, they're not giving that up. Like they're not going to make Cody turn heel. Like I just don't see that happening yet. Maybe further down the line if stuff continues to kind of happen because they've planted those seeds. So maybe he's more of like a tweener, but not full on heel.
The contract signing thing changed my idea. At the beginning or a month ago or whatever, when I made the video, I said that 100% the double turn is happening at SummerSlam, but I'm 100% with you. I don't think we're doing a full-on double turn. I think it's going to be more establishing Cody Rhodes as, yes, he's still a babyface, but he's not going to take any shit from anybody anymore. He's not going to be the babyface that kisses babies and stuff like that. Like when the times are needed for him to cross a line, he's going to be crossing a line that'll make him more of a threatening face, if anything, someone to take seriously from now on. And you'll have John Cena turn back to being a face. That's what I think we're going to do at SummerSlam this year. And I don't know who's going to win. Those predictions will come later. But in terms of like a full-on double turn where we walk out of SummerSlam with a heel Cody Rhodes, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to walk out a full heel.
Yeah, we'll touch on it a little bit more. Like you said, we'll have some what ifs and some predictions, obviously, next week because SummerSlam is right around the corner. I think it's like 9 days from now. So it's literally right around the corner.
And one more thing, street fight. Mm-hmm. This match has a street fight label on it. It was reported today that The Rock is not in the current plans, but dirt sheets are dirt sheets. Take what you get for that. What do we expect from the street fight? Do you think we're going to see any run-in stuff like that? Or do you think we're just going to get some John Cena, Cody Rhodes action? Yeah,
and I mean, if The Rock's not in the plans, he always could insert himself, right? He could literally show up day of and be like, I'm in this. Yep, I'm going out there. Why did that not make any sense? Well, it doesn't have to. I'm The Rock. I don't know. I feel like you got to get something. I feel like you got to get some sort of run-in potential because that's kind of what has happened for all of Cena's stuff, right? There's been some sort of shenanigans, whether it be R-Truth or the refs coming out or Travis Scott. Like there's always been some type of extra person or extra spot. So I feel like we get that. I don't know who it could be. I have no idea. Maybe it ends up being a Randy Orton with a punt to Cena and he punts Cena back to being a face. Who knows? I still kind of want that. So yeah, extra stipulations. It's going to be really cool. Like just to have that dynamic. I'm really excited for it. I put it at number 1 on my list in terms of matches I'm most excited for.
Great video. Go watch it.
Just because it's Cody, it's John. I think they take all the negative feedback they got around the Mania main event and they over deliver here.
That's exactly my take. I think the street fight label is for a reason. I don't think it's just because the rivalry's heated up and these two need to settle it in a street fight, like they kind of do story-wise, right? Kayfabe-wise. I think that it's a street fight because we are for sure going to get some sort of culmination of what the Cena heel turn has been so far, whether that be people like R-Truth and Randy Orton running out there. I don't know about that, or Travis Scott, stuff like that. Obviously, the Rock rumors are the Rock rumors, but I just feel like the street fight is there to have the shenanigans happen. Again, I'm not going to give away my prediction for the match yet, but I do feel like we get some sort of run-in, some sort of craziness happening, and it's not going to be a clean John Cena, Cody Rhodes match. It's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Jelly Roll will be there SummerSlam week.
Oh.
Maybe it's Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll!
Yeah, and one thing before we really kind of move on, the SummerSlam stuff, obviously, we'll get to it all, but I really like the fact that there's multiple matches with stipulations.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's cool. I like that.
You mentioned it. I kind of labeled it as a given time. Let's talk about it. But you mentioned his name, Jelly Roll. This idea of celebrities in wrestling in WWE has become a big thing lately. You have Logan Paul saying that he hates it because he was a athlete all of his life, and so he's not technically a celebrity that walks through the door like Jelly Roll and others are. What do you think about this new wave of WWE that's including so much of the celebrity aspect? The Cardi B's, the Travis Scotts, the Logan Pauls, the Jelly Rolls. Are you a fan of it, or is it a little too much?
Yeah, which, by the way, before I go really into depth on that, the Logan Paul promo I thought was fantastic. Just the gaslighting Jelly Roll I thought was great. I thought that was awesome. I was like, yeah, this is great stuff here. Yeah, if you look, like, obviously celebrities have been a part of wrestling the entire time, right? You date back to obviously the WrestleMania 1 and how over the top it was and all the appearances and all that stuff. You have celebrities in Mania matches all the time. I do think at times it gets a little overboard just with the given roster that they have. And I'm like, well, this time or spot could go to somebody. This could go to somebody. So I see both sides. I get like, hey, celebrities have always been a part of wrestling. Celebrities are fans just like us, and the wrestlers are fans of the celebrities. But also at the time, I'm like, okay, I don't need Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura to do a backstage War Raiders segment. Like I could not need that, or I don't need just random like flash to this celebrity in the crowd, and here's this and this and this and this and this. Like I don't need that stuff. But there's always going to be celebrities in wrestling, so you just kind of got to get used to it. Especially with TKO now being the leader of everything, you're just going to get more celebrities.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. WWE and wrestling in general, celebrities are a big part of their past, and it's going to be a big part forever because when you're booming like TKO and like WWE is right now, you're going to get mainstream appeal, and that's going to give you the opportunity to do stuff like have some of the biggest stars on earth, like a Jelly Roll, like a Cardi B, be involved in your biggest shows to try to get more eyes on the prize and stuff like that. But I'm also with you. I see both sides of the coin that you can't be taking away big opportunities from people and time from people that should be on the card. There are a lot of people like LA Knight doesn't have a match yet. That's ridiculous, right? And then you even talk about like Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, two of the biggest names in all of wrestling, are stuck in a celebrity all-star match, basically. That, I think, is doing it wrong. So I like celebrities occasionally coming in and having some fun because that's what wrestling is all about. But I do think at the moment we are going a little bit too overboard with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's just one of those things that like Logan Paul versus Jelly Roll would have honestly made sense to just do like the singles because you don't want Drew and Randy in there. But Logan and Jelly, that match would be terrible, right? Like Logan can't do all of it himself, right? So you're just like, okay, well, here's what we get. And we know Drew obviously said he wants to do it. And the little stuff you've seen on social media or like the Tonight Show thing where they put Logan through the table, that's cool. The match will be, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, dang, Randy. Like I made a point with Randy. Randy was just trying to challenge John Cena for the title. And now he's doing this. Yeah.
I mean, I like the Tonight Show thing and all that stuff too. That's fun. I like that kind of stuff. It's just, we're at SummerSlam, man. We have people that aren't on the card yet. Let's get them there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're not going to go too much further into stuff because we do have our predictions and stuff coming up down the line. But I do want to talk about Naomi because I wasn't here for it. She cashed in. She won the championship. That was pretty dang cool. I did get to watch Evolution, so that was a lot of fun. SummerSlam triple threat matches, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi, which scares the crap out of me. Because you got Rhea Ripley, who hasn't had that title in a while. You got the first 2-night SummerSlam, and that feels like a big opportunity to put the belts on Rhea and have the fireworks go off. What's going on with the Naomi thing? I don't really even know how to phrase this question. It's just, what are our thoughts on the idea of Naomi losing at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I'm pretty hesitant on it, and I try to tell people, I try to say, hey, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want this to happen. I even think you look at the last couple of weeks of her being on Raw, how she talks to Io, like, I don't even know what you just said, or how she labels Stephanie Vaquer, calls her name, right? You're like, I like this Naomi. This is nice. This is cool. A fresh face. But I am nervous. Obviously, you have the Clash in Paris a little bit down the road, and then you have Perth with Crown Jewel being in Rhea Ripley's home country, right? So it's like, oh, boy. Well, that's champion versus champion. So I would be hard-pressed to think that Rhea Ripley's not carrying the title going into that match. I don't know, to be honest. I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think Naomi does lose at SummerSlam. And then I think if the draft is a thing, I think she just ends up getting drafted back over to SmackDown, and she feuds with Jade Cargill and potentially Bianca Belair some way, somehow.
The only way I'd be okay with Naomi losing at SummerSlam would be if Jade wins at SummerSlam, becomes champion, then we immediately just parlay that into a proper Jade Naomi feud, and Naomi's now fighting Jade again for that title on SmackDown. And then you can kind of tug of war that belt there between the two of them. That would definitely dampen the pain from seeing whatever happens at SummerSlam if we do get Naomi being like a transitional champ just to get the belt off Io and back onto Rhea at the end of the day. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen. Okay? But, it's Rhea Ripley and it's Io Sky, SummerSlam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just one of those things that, like, there's not a lot of time. There's about a month between SummerSlam and the Clash, right? Well, Rhea and Steph have obviously had interactions. I know Naomi, I just said, had an interaction with Steph backstage. Well, I know one thing. Io Sky is not winning the title. That they basically told you that.
Yeah. Stephanie Vaquer, she won the Battle Royale at Evolution, gets her a match at Clash in Paris. Mm-hmm. Does that affect your idea of what the outcome is going to be for the two title matches at SummerSlam for the women?
No. So she ends up facing whoever's the winner of that triple threat. And to be honest,
oh, is that official?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They made it in they literally, like 2 weeks ago, Jackie Redmond just said, da, 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 and then they interviewed her. Like, that was it. It was like a 5-second thing. It was a very hidden thing. But she faces the winner of that. And to be honest, you sit there and you think about it and you're like, well, I don't see her winning the title at all, to be honest. I just see her kind of giving a title shot, go out there and have a great match at Clash, or showcase your skills. That's kind of that. Maybe she ends up fighting for like the IC title. Maybe if that's the way, because if you think about it, if she does end up losing the title match at Clash, then you have the Crown Jewel champion versus champion stuff. So she's not involved in that. So I don't see her challenging again for a while.
Yeah, but does that change? Does her fighting the winner of the triple threat change your opinion on who should win the triple threat? I don't know if I see Stephanie Naomi. Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that's been really, obviously her and Io had a match, but like the only thing that's really been like hinted at since Stephanie's debut has been her small run-ins with Rhea Ripley and stuff like that. It just feels like Rhea's going to win because that's the match that we're really wanting to see at Clash of Paris.
Yeah, that's kind of the match, and like that's a Mania level match, but you're getting it at Clash in Paris, which I don't remember last time Paris had a show, but here you go, sort of thing, I know it's not Io because they just pretty much told me it's not Io winning. Her and Naomi would be fine. It would be pretty cool. I would like that. But like you said, they've hinted at Steph Rhea since Steph came on the main roster.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is going to be great. Mm-hmm. We're going to do one more. We're going to skip over Becky, Lyra, and Bayley because I feel like that's going to get into our content that we have planned down the road for SummerSlam that is coming up very quickly. And I don't want to ruin that. So CM Punk, Gunther. Obviously, CM Punk versus Gunther is happening at SummerSlam for the title. And with Seth Rollins being out of everything right now, does that change kind of our perspective on who should definitely win this match? Because to me, with no Seth Rollins around and with Gunther's title reigns being kind of iffy, I think it may be time to just give CM Punk the title here and let us have a main top star champion for a while on Raw.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you said that, to be honest. I thought maybe you being a Gunther guy, you'd be like, yeah, have Gunther carry it till whenever. There's obviously rumors and speculation about Seth being the one to cash in here on the Punk stuff. I don't think that's happening. I really do think Seth is hurt, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and they did a hell of a job. So props to them. That would be crazy. I am ready for Punk to win a title. That's just kind of the road that I'm on here. I think it speaks volumes that whoever loses this match, I see going over to SmackDown if there is a draft. So if it is Gunther losing, I think he goes over and maybe he could challenge Cody if Cody takes it off John, or if he wants to face John, that would be good too. And honestly, Punk, I think Punk Cody is eventually going to happen at Mania. So like maybe he could transition. You have that whole sort of thing. I think whoever loses this match gets drafted. I want Punk to take the title though. That's just kind of where I'm at. The promo ability of Punk, you can really kind of put him in the ring with anybody and he can have a great promo and he can build stuff. And at a time where like PLEs are like boom, 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 one after the other, you kind of need something like that. Because with this Gunther Punk stuff, I'm not entirely bought in. Like, I understand it's a pivot. I understand they do the gauntlet match. I understand there's only 2 weeks from the gauntlet match to SummerSlam, so it's hard to build. But it's like, well, dang. Okay. I wanted more of this. And that's kind of like an overall feeling, I think.
Yeah, I just think it's time. We've seen Gunther's title reigns, and I love Gunther. I'm a big Gunther guy, especially his in-ring. I think he's phenomenal. I'm never going to bash on Gunther, but it's just one of those things where, like, Seth Rollins is out, and we kind of need a top serious guy at the top of the food chain that is mainstream popular and can do it all in the wrestling ring. Like, Jey Uso is mainstream popular, but no one's going to ever talk about his like promo ability or really his in-ring to a full extent. I think CM Punk's a full package right now. We're always at the point with CM Punk where it's like, how long does he have at this level, right? Like, he can get injured at any time. So even though Seth Rollins is injured for a bunch of months and you might want to delay it because Seth Rollins is a big part of the CM Punk storyline, it's like, screw it. Why not just put the belt on him here? Let him be a long-term champion. And then whenever Seth Rollins does get right, you have the Money in the Bank briefcase still on the dude and boom, we're right back into it. So we get a few months where CM Punk can be champion, challenge against some people, and be real good stuff coming out of SummerSlam. So I just think it's time to give CM Punk that belt.
Yeah, it would be something fresh. I feel like a lot of Gunther's feuds have kind of been the same thing, just with a different person, whether it was Pat McAfee or Jey Uso or Goldberg, or I mean, they've all just been like, I bring prestige and I'm better and I love this stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's great.
If we had another hour, I'd give my thoughts on the Goldberg stuff.
Right. Well,
that guy is an idiot. Anyway, that was our thoughts on a lot of stuff that's been happening here in the WWE world, a lot of storylines that are coming up. Of course, we have SummerSlam right down the road, so be looking forward to all of our SummerSlam coverage, our predictions, our what-ifs. All that good stuff will be coming in the next week or so. I'm glad to be back. Thank you again for doing all the carrying. Everything that you guys saw over the last 2 weeks, every single thing was produced and done by Brandon by himself. So give him some claps. It's damn good stuff. But, as always, follow us on everything. Make sure to stop by our live streams for Raw, SmackDown, PLEs like SummerSlam at youtube.com/@CODWrestlePod. We'd love to see you there. And then for everything else, all of our other podcasts and stuff, it's at CODWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio. It'll lead you to literally everything that we got, all of our socials, TikToks, all that. We'd love to have you guys follow that. Let's continue to grow. Let's get into it. SummerSlam season. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.